Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now, as an atheist, I sometimes wonder what the world would have been like if religion had never come into existence. I mean, you have to figure that religion started when human beings were at their most primitive and superstitious, when natural processes could not be explained. People didn't know that a person became crazy because of chemical processes in his head that were out of balance, in his brain that were out of balance. They didn't know that a person became sick because of bacteria and germs. They thought a crazy person was possessed by demons, and that a person who was getting a fever was being punished by God. They didn't know that earthquakes were caused by the movement of tectonic plates, and volcanoes were caused by pressure from deep within the earth. But imagine if there were no religion, how different history might have been. Now, it wouldn't have been perfect. People would still be flawed, vain, arrogant, fearful, greedy, vicious. They would still be fearful of anyone different than them. There would still have been tribes, and the tribes would have clashed with each other. And nations would have clashed. There would still have been wars. But the wars might have been a little shorter, because the losing side might have decided not to fight on because they believed that a God was going to come down and rescue them. So maybe fewer people would have died in them. There would still have been genocide, but I think there would have been maybe a little less genocide, because a lot of genocide was inspired by religious beliefs. The rich would still exploit the poor, and injustice would still happen, but it wouldn't be justified by any primitive religious beliefs. On the other hand, there would have been a lot of ways that history would have been remarkably different. There would have been no stonings of heretics, because there would have been no dogma to be heretical to. There would have been no burning of witches. There would have been no inquisition. Nobody would have been thinking up these sadistic tortures to inflict on sinners. There would be no reason to condemn homosexuals. Men would have just accepted homosexuals as somebody different, and perhaps been relieved that there was one less person in competition for that person of the opposite sex that they were trying to get at. There would have been no land that was considered holier than any other land, so there would have been no crusades, no Inquisition, no Holocaust. And because there would have been no Holocaust, there would be no European people occupying Arab lands pretending that they have a God-given right to be there. Nobody would be telling men that they had to wear beards, or women that they had to cover their faces. There would be no genital mutilation. And people could eat whatever food they liked. People would accept scientific facts for what they are, and not fight them because they clash with their book of fairy tales. And we'd all probably have a lot healthier attitudes towards sex. Thanks for listening.